You're listening to The Weekend Take. And now your host, Sean Schaefer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Weekend Take. I'm your host, Sean Schaefer, and with me this week is writer, director, and co-founder of the Don't Wait to Unmake a Bully project, Mike Fierstein. How are you doing, Mike?
Hello there. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us this week.
Sure. This is my second only podcast ever, so...
Because of social media, you have these kind of internet trolls, these keyboard warriors who are coming out just to say some of the most hurtful things they possibly can at celebrities. Nobody's really seemingly safe from this, and we're seeing it more and more. What do they stand to gain from it? What's their motivation? Is it acknowledgement? Is that all this is? They're just picking the biggest target they can and taking aim?
Yeah, I think, well, in my work in schools, bullying boils down to confidence. It boils down to perception. How do others see me? How do I see others? How do I see myself? How do I fit in with all that? What kind of confidence do I have to just be myself and let others be? Or do I have to knock others down, get them to my level where I'm feeling down? So if they're feeling down, at least we're on the same level. But then the whole internet throws a wrench into there too, where this person doesn't have a voice. Maybe they go to work, they're trashed by their boss, they're trashed by their coworkers, they make enough money to make rent and get food and go see these movies. Then they go online and take all of their frustrations out on people who can't fight back and on people that they see as deserving it because they put themselves in the spotlight. Well, if you're going to be in a movie and put yourself in the spotlight, you got to be open to being, judged and made fun of. And I'm thinking, whoever made that rule? I hear it said by a lot of people, even people who advocate for anti-bullying still say, well, they put themselves out there. That's not a reason. That's the same as someone saying, well, she wore a skirt, so she deserved it. That's not ever going to be an acceptable response to someone getting sexually harassed. So how can someone, because they starred in a movie, how can that be permission to trash them if you want to? It's not.
You're looking at a celebrity or anybody that's in the public eye trying to live what is their best life, and people who are less than happy about where they are at this station in their life feel the need to, like you said, drag those people down to their level, or at least attempt to.
And as far as careers go, performers and athletes, I think, are the only people on the planet who we watch do their jobs. I don't think there's any other jobs out there that you can get where you're watched all the time and shared and rewatched and recorded. That's what they have to do. So their job is to be in front of you, entertaining you. Your job is not to judge them for it. You can quietly, and this goes back to bullying, you can quietly think these things. We can't stop certain thoughts. But as soon as it comes out of your mouth, there's a whole bunch of gateways there to it coming out of your mind, through your fingers, into the keyboard, typing it out. You don't hit the delete key, you decide to hit the send key. You don't delete the post after a moment of second thought, you leave the post up. There's a lot of thought put into that. And to me, it's narcissism and that idea of, I'm a loser, so I don't want to admit that. I'm going to let everyone know how smart I am with these, cheeky thoughts or sarcastic remarks and comments on serious threads or against someone's plain old existence.
And that's the other thing, is that there's a bit of cowardice to it because they take on a sense of anonymity. Instead of being John Smith, who goes on and says this bad thing about, let's say, Brie Larson or Captain Marvel, instead they go under angry incel 763 and they can say whatever they want. They hide behind the anonymity of a computer screen. There's nothing that necessarily identifies or ties to you as a person.
Yeah, everyone's a middle schooler in the world when it comes to online life. You don't graduate from that thought process ever.
Fine. Okay. But it's not like this kind of talk hasn't existed previously. Before the internet, we just had tabloids. We had National Enquirer and rags that people would read that said these terrible things about these actors and all the things that they're doing. But, it's certainly evolved and it's more in your face and prominent on a 24/7 level basis now. But sometimes it gets really serious and on a real personal level. So my next example I was bringing up is kind of like the next degree of severity is Kelly Marie Tran. So Kelly Marie Tran played Rose in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. Star Wars, Lucasfilms were trying to make an effort to put more diversity in their films. And so they cast Kelly Marie Tran to play this part of Rose, who started off as kind of this meek janitorial, custodial position on a ship and suddenly rises up in the rebellion, not much unlike a poor farmer boy, on Tatooine.
Yeah.
There was a similar situation that was with her. So the film comes out, and hers was only amplified by the fact that the film itself was very disliked by the fan base.
Yeah, very polarized.
We're looking at a film that we don't like as a fan base, and now we're going to look at, there has to be a reason. What changed that made this film so bad in the rest of the canon of the films? Don't blame Rian Johnson. You can't just do that, right? Because the film just wasn't written or executed properly or well.
You mean it can't be Mark Hamill sucking the nipple of a giant beast? It can't be, rest her soul, flying through the air?
Leia has never used any real force powers, but somehow can reanimate her frozen body and fly back to the ship.
It can't be Mark Hamill totally phoning in the last half an hour.
Or the need to have Adam Driver shirtless talking to Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
In a weird Jedi power that hasn't existed in any film previously, to have basically Jedi FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we're going to attack Kelly Marie Tran. It got really bad. Like, it got to the point of, threats of physical advancement on the internet, to the point where Kelly Marie Tran had to leave social media. And for somebody in the public eye who's in this career, we watch these people do their job. You're expected to promote and to do the dog and pony shows and the red carpets and all stuff like that. And social media is a huge part of that now in this day and age. And to reach a level where you just have to walk away because you've been so harassed, because you've been so bullied. Why? Like, what is the motivation behind that? What do you gain from psychologically ruining someone?
It's an inflated sense of self-worth. Look at my opinion. And to me, it goes to giving consolation prizes and participation prizes. It's not being allowed to tell someone that they're stupid and they need to learn more. They need to read. Like, you can't say that's stupid. What you just said is stupid, has no bearing on reality. Go read a book. You can't say that to anybody. You got to say, oh, I see your point, but let's consider this other point. And I know, again, that sounds weird coming from someone teaching anti-bullying, but at some point, people have to be told that they're wrong. It's unequivocal. There's no other perspective on it. They are wrong, incorrect. There's not going to be any point where you can make it positive. It just has to happen, and it's never going to. I think it all goes back to what we said before, though, is people online feeling like they have a voice that matters, and it doesn't. Some people's voice just doesn't matter, especially when it's being used in that way. You just can't tell someone that anymore for some reason, so it keeps going.
Yeah, Kelly Marie Tran, it'll be interesting to see if she resurfaces on social media with, episode 9 coming up in December of this year.
Do we know how big her part is in episode 9?
Well, we don't. No, there's no trailer yet. But I would really be interested to know if what she went through had an impact on the significance of her character going into the 9th film. You think that the concern from Disney about backlash from the fan base would have altered perhaps her character's story arc or the prominence of her character in in episode 9?
I certainly hope not, or that whole franchise can go to hell if that's going to be what they do.
I mean, Disney is to the point of being overly protective of their public image. I mean,
I still see it as a completely negative choice if they do that. There's no positive there.
Unfortunately, I won't have any comparison to make to what her prominence would have been in episode 9, because it's not like I can look at an earlier version of the script or anything. But obviously, you can't teach a class to the internet as a whole. But what can people who may be listening to this show or where it gets shared and things like that, how would you instruct people listening about moderating what they say and how they say it on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's all those stopgaps. After you've thought it, is it worth typing? After you've typed it, read it back. Is this really something that you want to stand by? Is this something that you would, under threat of death, stand by and defend to the end? And why? Why? Is this the hill you're going to die on? But also, if you're on the receiving end, I would say it's easier to ignore things by not looking at them and not have that morbid curiosity to just find out what they think. On both sides of it, I'd say, number one, if you're on the posting side, really think about it. Really try to fit your opinion in with the discourse. And does it need it? Number two, if you're on the receiving side, expect it. Expect these negative things and figure out how much of it you can handle. And then either don't put yourself in that situation again, or find a support system that is louder than that. Find people that are willing to tell you more good things about yourself than those who are being negative. So much more I could say, but that's just off the top of my head right now.
No, I think incredibly insightful about it. I think it's some really good advice. And I appreciate it. And, I appreciate you taking the time to kind of volley some thoughts back and forth with me on the topic, because it is something that I kind of keep coming back to in a lot of discussion about some of the movies over the course of the run of this show so far, is just all these things happened because somebody needed to make trouble for them on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
There really just is no need. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all entertainment. This is all meant to be a distraction from the real world for us. And when you bring a very real and personal sense to it, and I think it just deteriorates the entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the idea that I give to kids when they go out to the playground to play. Do you want to have fun or do you want to argue? Is arguing fun? Not really. Some people think it is, but on the whole, you argued the whole time and didn't play kickball. Would you rather enjoy and let other people enjoy, or be the thing that is causing us all to go, oh, come on, just shut up?
It's a good way to put it. Do you want to have fun or do you want to argue? Yeah. It's amazing what we as a society could learn from middle school students and what they're being taught. That about wraps it up for us here on The Weekend Take. The Weekend Take is also on social media. We're on Twitter at Weekend Take, as well as on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Weekend Take. And please visit our Patreon campaign at www.patreon.com/The Weekend Take, where for as little as $1, you can become a patron of The Weekend Take and get access to exclusive extended cut episodes in case you want to hear more of the conversation that Mike and I had today. But until then, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this week, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye.
You've been listening to The Weekend Take. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and Google Play, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Visit our Patreon page to become a patron of The Weekend Take, and for as little as $1, you'll receive exclusive content and perks.